sneaker game is tough if you're in it alone. Getting the latest pair of hype sneakers is becoming increasingly difficult these days. As soon as you try to purchase, the shoe is out of stock. If you want to improve your skills, you need to learn the tricks of the trade. And here's how. Soul Savvy is an exclusive sneaker community that provides you with the tools and resources you need to be at the top of your game. 1. Sneaker Monitors. We monitor hundreds of websites and instantly notify you about new drops straight to your account. With a direct add to cart link, simply choose your size and you're on your way to copping. And no matter where you are, you can always stay up to date. 2. Discounts. You will gain access to exclusive coupons and promotions that will help you save money. 3. Exclusive info. As a member, you will be the first to know everything.
The Florida Blue Florida Classic returns on Saturday, November 20th in Orlando. Experience the tradition of the greatest rivalry in HBCU sports when the Florida A&M Rattlers and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats meet for the 75th time. Be there live to see the FAMU Marching 100 and the BCU Marching Wildcats show up and show out in a McDonald's halftime show that cannot be missed. Tickets start at just $22 while supplies last. Get yours now at floridaclassic.org.
Now, for all you guys that are always wondering, who is that voice behind the commercial that we just watched? Well, we're getting the treat of sitting down with the voiceover couple themselves, the Dravers. How are you guys?
Hey,
Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning to you both.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here. It's fun. It's awesome to be able to put a face to the voice.
Yeah.
How in the world did you get into this?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll start with, it really started, I started doing voiceovers off the suggestion from my mom. When I was at Dell State, I started doing radio, and radio was like really my
Dell
first
State?
love. Yeah, shout out to the Hornets.
We got to recognize that. Hornets? You in Delaware, you got to recognize that.
Right,
Dell
right.
State.
So I didn't finish there, but when I left, I still had the passion. I had microphones, I had different things that I always had with me. So my mom was like, you know, in 2017, you need to check out, online platforms for just seeing if you can do voiceover work, because there's a lot of online platforms where you can upload your demos, all that kind of stuff, and I did that, and we started getting work, and a few months later, my wife, naturally, she has the musical theater background, so.
Yeah, so I went to school, when I went to Ursuline.
Oh, you went to
I went to Ursuline.
I went to Padua.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that.
This is where they're going to ignore us, so let them be sisters.
I went to Ursuline, and so I had the pleasure of doing like musicals at Salesianum, and it was just like, I loved it, did the whole like marching band thing. So I was always performing in some way.
Yeah.
And then I went to Newman University in Aston, Pennsylvania, and did musical theater there. I minored in musical theater and majored in special education and education. And it was just so heartbreaking when I went into the real world and started teaching, and there was really no outlet for me to perform anymore, so for me it was like, okay, like what is a way where I can still do what I love to do and perform? And so when Dom told me about voiceovers, I didn't know anything about it, but when he told me about voiceovers, I was like, wow, this is a way I can still do my passion but behind a microphone.
Because it's acting.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very much.
so.
I guess, Sassian will tell you, she bore her to death. So it's like, when you
Cab
say,
Calloway,
listen,
right?
Cab, Cab Calloway. Just saying,
saying.
Just saying. I ain't as professional as you two, but I did my own little dilly and dally.
Okay.
Do you feel that though musical theater helped you
Absolutely.
to get to where you are now?
Absolutely.
Wow.
There are some times where you're delivering lines and you have to just be like more dramatic, and I'll tell you, like, I look so crazy doing a voiceover when people can't see me, but sometimes I'm like doing faces and like all these things, because it's like you have to get your diction and your articulation right, and like sometimes movement helps you like get those words out. So I just look so silly behind the microphone, which I'm glad no one can see me, but it really does help, because just even in certain scripts, like the pacing of it, it's like music almost, like the cadence and everything like that.
Sometimes you gotta match music, you gotta match, certain videos that they've created already. Yeah, so I think, with her having that musical theater background and me having the broadcast background, it was just a natural progression for her to go into voiceover acting. And I thought, as a couple, what better from a marketing standpoint for a marketing company to have a male and a female voice thing?
Right.
You know, because a lot of times marketing companies are looking for auditions, and they say, hey, we got this from a company, can you send this audition back? And you know, if I say, hey, I have a female voice here too, they can say, okay, well, can we get both of you to read it? And it just saves them time and
We have
money.
gotten a lot of work that way.
Wow.
And we can do dialogue.
She just got engaged. We might.
I know.
Congratulations.
I mean,
Got a couple snaps.
I love it. I love it.
That is
Hold on, but Dom is holding something back from y'all. He was in a Christian rap group when he was young.
Christian.
wait a minute.
I'm putting him on blast. Hold on. Because there's some guys from Delaware too that was with him. But that's where he learned how to do editing.
Yeah.
He learned how to use a microphone. That was your start.
That really, so back in high school, I had a little rap.
That's a good right wing right there. That's a good right wing right there.
No, I had a little rap group, and shout out to my boy Rob. He actually taught me how to use Cool Edit Pro at the time, which is now Adobe Audition.
It's a part of the story.
Yeah,
You
so
can't
I mean,
Yes.
you know, we bought our own mics, and you know, this was like 2005, 4 when you could get on stuff on Musicians Friends, and when people were really first starting to record themselves. So we put our money together, got mics, got recording equipment, software, and I use all that stuff today. I mean,
Wow.
I use Photoshop and all type of stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
It was definitely part of the story.
So you gonna sign up?
I mean,
Because I'm just listening. I might sign up. Y'all give classes?
I was gonna say, do you?
All that.
You will not believe how many people have reached out to us like, I really want to do this, I want to do this,
Yeah.
you know.
We
and
do provide consultation.
We do. But then, you know, nobody ever wants to be like, okay, I'm a, you know, consultation, I'm gonna take a consultation. Everybody wants. There's something about when you're building a
property for free.
business, right? When you're building a business and you grind for that business, and you poured your, you know, blood, sweat, and tears into something. All of that knowledge that you gain from that is valuable.
Absolutely.
And you just can't give it away for free.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just want your ideas and your, what did you call it the other day?
The research that you've done.
You called it something. I can't remember, but people want that for free, and you just can't. Like,
Right.
you're an artist.
Yeah.
You can't
Intellectual
just-
property.
Intellectual property.
Right.
You can't just give that away.
Right.
And people have to be respectful of the grind. You
Yeah.
know, of like.
So with
we
that
work for
being
this.
said, because I know quite a few introverts that speak phenomenally well. But they're individuals that don't want to be in front of the camera.
Right.
You know, what would you say, or what would you be comfortable sharing that is a common mistake that individuals that want to go in that field do, and you want to share that in your own comfort level, of course, that you would want to share with them so they don't make that mistake again if they're interested in that field?
I say the biggest mistake is believing that it's easy, or believing that you're just going to make money.
I can get in my,
you know.
I can, you know, sit down and.
Yeah.
Jordan did that.
I did.
Jordan did that.
You know?
He was like, he was like, wait, you mean to tell me they just like, I could do that? And I was like, I don't know, Jordan.
You have training in acting background. You went to CAD.
Yeah,
That's
see.
And you have the voice. So at the end of the day, I mean, if it's just training yourself on software to make it easier, unless you really want to pay for somebody else to be your editor. But then you have to realize there's a cost to that. You know, to have a studio.
I think that is where his strengths come in and make up for what I lack.
Wow.
Because I have the acting and the theater background and all of that. And then he has
The
more
engineering.
of the engineering
Wow.
aspect. And I think we really mesh well together because he's trained me to edit my own work and all of that. I mean, it really is a process, and we
Yep. And now that I'm
done it
full time
together.
doing it, she's still working. I manage her side of the business. So
Oh,
you know,
wow.
when her work comes in, and she blows it out the water compared to my numbers. Like she's much highly sought after voice wise.
But that's what makes you look
females
even
in
great,
general.
right? That's what makes you look even great, because y'all a couple, right? That's awesome. Now, help me on. You know, you talked about management. One thing I love, and I'm sure you saw this, Tatiana, is the voiceover couple. You guys do quite a lot of deals. You are working with Netflix, Nike, like
PNC.
PNC. I was
saw
like, come
that.
on now, pass the
do,
collection
yeah.
plate. Like you guys are doing the darn thing. Did you ever once think that you would be here with the partners that you're working with now?
No, I would say when we first started this, we didn't really know what to expect. I mean, we were just excited.
We were doing it to make the rent, pay
Yeah,
the bills.
it was you know, I was working full time still, Nicole's working full time, and it was just something that we did on the side for extra money. It was nice. And so as we started to see it pick up year after year, it was like, oh, okay, well, there's a lot of opportunity, here. And then the pandemic was really what pushed us to figure it out.
I'd imagine the pandemic played a huge role.
Yeah,
It boosted the voiceover industry a lot.
I can only imagine. Even the Nike app that we got to listen to.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many like COVID vaccine commercials or just like all of the PSAs and exactly we have done. Like it really for voiceover artists, I think boosted the potential to make money because there's so much work out there and everything was going virtual. Everything was, so with that. So
the need for like training videos and employee stuff, they don't want to do a lot of stuff in person. So, even with education, we do a lot of educational training videos for kids, high schools, math stuff. All that stuff, virtual school is a huge need now. So.
Oh, for sure. Even I know in my classroom, when I was in the classroom, shout out to Harlan Elementary School. I love you, Harlan Hawks. Brandywine School District. When I was teaching at Harlan, like I know that I just loved reading time. It was just my favorite thing because I could just be these different characters and just do all these different things. And the kids just love that time. And I feel like it's translated so well into the work that I do now. Like, doing children's books and animation. That's actually my favorite thing to do is animation. But it's hard because you got to kind of like, if they do the animation first, you got to keep up with the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there a category when it comes to doing voiceover work? Is there voiceovers for just commercial? Can you do it for movies?
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of categories.
How do you navigate something like that?
It all
I'm
depends.
trying to be respectful of the hustle, so I don't want to give away too much. Too much.
It's totally fine.
I'm here to give DETV the inside scoop.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. So I think there's a lot of different, categories in voiceover. There's people who only do commercial. There's some people who do what they call promo, which is just the voice you hear at the end of a show, like, and we'll be right back with this message. You know what I mean? There's people that just do that.
Or podcasts.
Or podcast, intros,
outros.
audiobooks. That's another niche area because audiobooks are tough.
I like it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you're talking about a 50,000, 100,000 word book. And they don't pay the same as like a commercial that you do in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So you got to really love that and want to read somebody's book and go back and edit all that book.
Now, Obama, I'll read your book.
I hear that.